This is the Notoros News, and I am Mr. Monopoly. In Anomaly News, we see the Church of RN Jesus really getting some hard looks from the community for the lack of output. After the hype train derailed on the gas anomalies, and then this, there's just some really hard-hearted things being said about the local church community right now. Maybe they deserve it, maybe they don't. In sports news around the capital of Notoros, there was faction warfare action. The Caldari forces included 3 Caracals, 1 Hecata, and 1 Merlin. The Galente forces, largely made up of Nisua Cartel local heroes, consisted of Harpies, an Enforcer, a Carries, and a Kieran. It was a real fuck you fleet, you know what I mean? The DPS of those Harpies, and then with the Enforcer and Carries for control, that seemed like an absolutely fun way to spend a night to me. Around the Okakwala constellation, we see Mr. Chunky and his Atrons soloing a Moa. Mr. Chunky is your current kill leader this month with a staggering 185 kills so far. Said one local sports fan, and I quote, "Mr. Chunky ain't no joke with the biscuits." End quote. 37 points in Kadama for punching up 2 weight classes. Also in Kadama, we see Chad Flame burn down a Caracal with the Hecata. 20,000 damage is serious business. 19 points for Chad Flame. In Notoros, the best system in New Eden, Jin Wick caught a Vexor Navy issue for 28 points with the Draugr. Corvus Onzo was out with the Worm and caught some very good kills, including this Naga solo kill. What a hero. 45 points isn't even enough. Take your hat off to him. Mr. Chunky again, this time burning down a Kikimora with style. The Cormorant of Mr. Chunky was just too much for the Triglavian ship, said one local sports expert, and I quote, "The Corm trades very well with the Triglavian destroyer." End quote. And Aurelie de Chiosi in Onisican caught this Caracal for 27 points. A good points total for the engagement. Aurelie de Chiosi was flying a Hecata. A real Hecata-centric sports page today. In follow-up news, a return to the story of those Stratioses that got caught by a Tengu with Procure bait from issue 173.
Hi, Dr. Glacier, Coronaro. Yeah, should have died with that fight you covered. Didn't notice the first one, let alone the second one. I was actually going after 2 or 3 NPCs that were attacking the barge that I was situated around. The problem is I didn't actually notice the 2 Stratios, let alone the Condor that actually got away. So I should have died. But, years of doing PvP, not necessarily so, but just doing PvP gave me the advantage to be able to react, albeit a little late, to the first one. Totally missed the second one, wrong overview setting and everything. But yeah, it was an interesting fight. Definitely got the adrenaline going, made the hand shaky because wasn't expecting it. I think what hurt the most though is later, one of my friends also went out there in a Cloaky T3 and we got nothing. 20 minutes after he left, a fleet of T1 and 2 frigates and destroyers came in and just wiped the field with me. It was the skill loss that sucked the most. I mean, I should have known better. One or 2 frigates, that was a bad idea. Then they all piled in the system. But yeah, the Stratios pilot, it was great. It was hilarious that I even survived it.
And that is the news from Notoros, the best system in New Eden.